Mm.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer McCune, and I am so excited to be sharing more about Rodan+Fields tonight with some of my amazing team members. So just to give you a little bit of background, if you don't know anything about this business, a couple of things that were really intriguing to me when I started is these are two best friends, Stanford trained dermatologists who created Proactive. And they started a new skincare line because there are a lot of us out there who have skin who don't have teenage acne. So they wanted to help the rest of us as well. And what was super impressive to me, not only is that is a market for everybody, including myself, but that they originally partnered with Estee Lauder. They were #1 in Nordstrom, and they realized they were #1 because people were making referrals. And they thought, why are we paying somebody else who's doing the work? We should be paying the people who are doing the work. So in a brilliant move, they pulled out. We became the #1 premium skincare brand in North America. We've been there ever since. And these three lovely ladies and I tonight are going to share a little bit more about questions that you might have about what this business could look like for you. This is real. This is just a nice, friendly chit chat. And we just want to share the honest truth, no BS, so you can make a decision to see if this would be right for you. So one of the first questions that a lot of people have about starting their own business with Rodan+Fields is, would I actually have enough time to do it? Because the majority of us right about now are really, really busy, right? And so I want to start off and ask Lindsey Vaney, who's calling in by phone. She lives in this beautiful house in the country. And let me add that I did not know any of these three wonderful, beautiful guests before I started my Rodan+Fields business. So it's been so exciting to meet so many wonderful people as well. So Lindsey, you have a really interesting story. You're a mom and a grandma, and you work as a nurse constantly. Were you worried at all about the time issue when you decided to start your business?
I was really worried about the time that I would have to put in because in thinking about starting a business, I thought about how people start brick and mortar businesses and they dump all of their time into it. And I don't have that type of time. So, because I work full time, I have my family and amongst a ton of other things that I do. And what I really like about Rodan+Fields is that whatever time you put into it is what you get out of it. And there's no set amount of time. It's truly your business. And so I really enjoy that about Rodan+Fields. And I was just really surprised that, some people can work 15 minutes a day. Some people can put 2 hours in, and it's all about flexibility and what you can do. And you can work throughout your day. You really make your own schedule. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And that allows it to work for so many different types of people.
And I totally agree with you, because when I started, I was working full-time as well. My kids were 5, 8, and 10. I was taking night classes, and I totally agree with you. I found the same thing. So Whitney, yours is the same, right? That you're working full-time and you have kids, you're a single mom. Are you experiencing a similar challenge, or were you concerned about the time issue when you decided to start?
Well, of course, because it meant I had to make some choices. Like, did I want to bird watch, or did I want to read? Or actually, honestly, listening to church yesterday, the preacher said something that was applicable to so many things, and it is not how much you have, it is how you manage what you have. And that is absolutely true, because quite frankly, the more time I have to work this business, the more I dawdle and try to perfect all of the things that don't need perfection. And when I have a less amount of time on my plate to work what I need to work, I actually knock it out with far more efficiency.
Isn't that true? I remember that in college, I would have so much free time and I'd, paint my nails or watch a soap or something. And when we had less time, it's like we really scheduled and became much more efficient with things. So very true. Priscilla, how about you? I mean, also you, again, we have Priscilla and all of you women are so amazing. I mean, it's just so incredible. Priscilla, you're working full time and you have a baby and 2 other kids, and you're managing to do really well with your business as well. How is that looking for you?
You know, what I've learned, Jennifer, is that you really do dedicate the time that you want to. So I've learned so much about time management. I used to be so sloppy with my time. Like nothing was urgent, but just very sloppy. And I've learned through the business and with having 3 kids, because when I started the business, I only had 1. And now that I have 3, I've really learned to time block and to really just the time that I have to manage it better and to dedicate the time to do the things that I need to do versus, like Whitney was saying, do whatever. It really is a matter of focusing and finding the little moments that you can be consistent and just be dedicated.
It's so true, because it's like, I liken it to working out, right? You can work out 8 hours one Saturday and not work out again for 2 weeks. And that averages out to 15 to 30 minutes a day over a 2-week time period. But you're not going to reap the same rewards as if you would do 15 to 30 minutes. And it's the same with our business. We don't have to do an 8-hour job, 15 to 30 minutes a day, right?
Exactly.
The next question I think people think about when they're getting ready to start a business is, just like with any business, we have an investment. Ours is very small compared to any sort of bricks and mortar or any other business you could do, but nonetheless, there is a financial investment that, we still have great perks with that. We get products, we get a huge discount. There are cashback bonuses right now, but nonetheless, people ask about that. So Lindsey, you started during all of this. You started a little over a month ago. Was that at all a concern of you?
It was a concern for me, especially during the pandemic, because everything is unforeseen right now. We don't know which direction things are going to go in. We have employment today. We don't know about tomorrow. We don't know how rules and laws are going to change our lives at any given moment. And then being the breadwinner of my family, making sure that my investment was good was very important to me. And so money is always a concern. And you just have to decide that you want to make the sacrifice and that you want to put the time in and the energy in to make Rodan+Fields become something for you. So, yeah, money is a factor, but if you really want it to work, then it's worth the sacrifice.
Absolutely. And I remember when I decided to do this, I made the decision that I was going to put it on my credit card and I was going to earn more than my my investment back by my credit card due date. Because yes, it's something that we all think about, but I agree with you 100%. Whitney, what did that look like for you?
So I actually was a preferred customer for a couple of years before I became a consultant. So it was actually far less investment than I had already put in. But as my sister so wisely pointed out, I had been doing all of the work. I was using the products, I was talking to people, but I was reaping none of the benefit from any of that, which goes back to the same point that the doctors made originally. Like, why not give the people who are doing the work the money? So for me, it was, I really like logic, and it just made far more sense for me to actually be a consultant than a really chatty consumer.
Right. And so why do you think that it took you spending so much money in product for a couple of years and doing all the work before you decided that it made far greater sense financially to just join the business?
Part of it was just I was scared of all of the things that I thought I was going to have to do
Mhm.
until I unpacked them all and realized I was already doing them. So it was more all of the reasons that I was afraid I might fail, like not knowing people, or having to talk to people, or not knowing how to talk to people, or not knowing how to do it, or all of the fears that are probably fairly typical for people who are not in sales, or who have never been in sales, or who find that they are more introverted, and none of which actually were, once I unpacked them, were valid, credible excuses.
Well, and you're absolutely right. It's not excuses, but fear is really weird and powerful and can definitely mess with our brains and hold us back from doing what we know we can and should be doing, right? Um, those are such great points. And I know when I started, or right before I started, my huge fear was fear of what people would think. My background, I have a PhD in Spanish, and I was doing culture and language training for the military, and I was just deathly afraid of what people would think. And then I was like, God, well, if people are judging me, they're not getting the power of this business. These women created Proactive. They're going to change people's lives. Why would I be part of that? But still, then you go, but I never thought I'd do anything like this. But it's amazing. Get out of your own head, right? So it's really powerful what's in our head, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well use it for good. So Priscilla, you definitely have a very interesting story. As far as, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the money, because you had heard about this brand and you knew about it when it was in the department stores, right?
Right. Yes. So I used to work at Nordstrom back in the day when I was a newlywed, and I worked right next to the cosmetics counter, and there it was. Every single day I saw it. I passed by it, and it looked, like such a wow, dermatologically based brand. Like it looks super legit. But it didn't really click with me that I needed it, but I did. And I've been suffering for acne for, I think, since I was 9. I had my first zits.
Oh, wow.
Since a really long time. And it wasn't till I needed the business that I realized I really needed the product more. But when you're in the financial need, you think about that more, at least in my case. And it was like, for me, it was like killing two birds with one stone. And for the products, before using Rodan+Fields, I've used so many products, including, like, I remember there was one that was just based on tomatoes, and it made my face look like a tomato. Like, just because it was natural didn't mean that it worked. And
Right.
I also went to dermatologist and didn't do much. So it was really a great experience using the product and becoming a product of the product. You can see now, clear skin.
I was going to say, nobody would guess by looking at you that you have suffered with acne. So for you, the financial decision really was about the confidence of what you could achieve with this great skincare and helping other people as well, along with the business aspect of it, of helping share that with people, right?
Exactly. It was like, wow, if these products really work, then I'm going to tell everybody, because I had the experience of having such bad skin, and I saw the impact that it made in my self-confidence, in the way that I looked at people, like avoiding people, looking people in the eye, like ridiculous things that you do when you have bad skin. So
Right.
it really, to me, it's worth every penny.
Right.
It's worth every single penny. So I see the value in that.
And helping instill that in people. I mean, all of us, and we've really seen this the past few months when we've been stuck at home, we just don't feel as confident when we're not taking care of ourselves, right? We just don't feel as confident when we don't look our best. And having great skin, great lashes just helps you hold your head up taller and with more pride, and helping other people be able to do that is incredibly powerful. So the next thing that I've heard, and I remember thinking the same thing is, and Whitney, you touched on this, not knowing enough people. So when I started, I was working at an office. I would work out in the morning and then go to work. And there were two other people in the office besides me, and then come home and be with my kids. So needless to say, my network wasn't huge. But for me, I just made a decision that was just sad, whether I was going to do Rodan+Fields, that I owed it to myself to have a bigger world and start expanding and meeting new people. So that's what I did at that time. Whitney, you said it was a big fear of yours to actually have to talk to people and your network wasn't big enough. Did you switch your mindset, or did all of a sudden like 20 people come to your house for a party? How did it?
No. Actually, it's really funny because I used to be ridiculously shy, and my sister really did a lot of the talking for me. And when she moved up to Virginia, I can remember going, this is fantastic. She can make friends for me. But I think one thing that helped was the fact that when you become a mother, you have to talk to people because you have to be a voice for other people. So I learned that this thing that I was so scared of, like worst case scenario, I looked ridiculous. But that was really the biggest risk I was taking. And so really just life experience taught me that it was okay to talk to people. And then when you actually start to look at it, your network is far larger than you think it is, particularly if you have kids, because you are forever running into other parents. You've got sports activities, people, I mean, like you're continually running into people that you wouldn't run into otherwise. But you realize your world is much bigger than you think it is, or that it's not and it should be.
And it's just those stories again that we tell ourselves why we're going to suck or why we're going to fail or why we can't do that. And it's just not true. I don't know why we do that to ourselves. Well, Lindsey, yours is really interesting because when you started, you didn't have Facebook. You weren't really on social media at all. And this has just been a month or so. And now I've seen you already really blowing up social media, which is kind of interesting. Were you worried about your network at all?
Kind of worried about my network. I'm still in the beginning phases. I'm such an analog girl. And so I'm slowly getting used to Facebook and social media. And it takes some getting used to, but just kind of taking myself outside of my comfort zone and understanding that the world that we live in is something that's completely necessary, that I get used to and that I expose myself to, because I know that in those zones of being uncomfortable is where growth happens. And so in knowing that lesson and moving forward, I'm starting to embrace Facebook. So yeah, I was worried about the network, because you think about people that you know and people that you see on a regular basis, and it's not that many people. When you start breaking it down and trying to write down 200 names and you can't think of 200 people, you know, it really is a small world without social media, and our networks have to grow, and that's a great way to do it. And so I'm a little bit still nervous, but excited about it.
And you work as a nurse, so unlike some of us who haven't like really seen that many people, you do, I mean, you have been very busy working in the medical profession, but you're also still seeing some people as well, which must be somewhat helpful. I don't know.
It is somewhat helpful. It is somewhat helpful because you think we have other things to talk about, but we're still talking about our health and our skin being part of that. And so I do get to introduce the business to my friends on a daily basis and the people that I see every day. And so that's a joy. And I've had a lot of people ask questions about it and be curious about it. And so, you know, my actual network of people that I know and that I see on a daily basis has been great also.
And I think one of the great things about being able to do so much of this via social media as well is, since we don't carry inventory and we're not a party plan business, we can really share in whatever you can share with people at work, and if they're interested, you can get out your phone or send them the link and they can purchase. It's not like you have to go back home and then collect cash and get the product. It's not like you have to have a lunch at your house. So I think all of this, whether we're quarantined or not, I mean, we obviously had no clue that we were going to be quarantined in a few years when I started this business. But I know for me, it wasn't even about quarantine. It was about, I have 3 little kids at home. I do not want to be having parties every night, and I do not want to have to drive around and take people products and collect their cash. So I think that's been really helpful for all of us who have been super busy as well, right? That we're busy moms and busy working professionals. So Priscilla, I want to shift it over to you for a second. So you work in the legal profession. None of you guys were, definitely did not have a background in this. Did it bother you at all doing something so different? Did the S word, sales, bother you at all? Tell us about that.
So no, actually, it was really exciting to work in something different because reading contracts, it's kind of boring, after a while. So it was a really great creative, like I have a very strong right brain. So this was like so much fun for me to do this and express my creativity in the marketing and express my creativity in just how I do things. So to me, it was super fun. And the sales word, I definitely never considered myself a salesperson, but I do see the value in learning sales. And I think that, I think we are really everybody. If you're a mom, you've definitely sold your kids on eating vegetables, or sold your husband on getting you something that maybe is out of the budget, So I think we're all more salesperson than we think we are. So it's just a matter of perspective, a matter of how you look at it, I think.
It's so a matter of perspective. That was my exact first question. I learned about this business on LinkedIn. And the woman from whom I learned it lives in Denver. I live in Virginia. We had a conversation, and one of my first questions was, is this sales? Because I'm not a salesperson. And she said, you know what? That's great, because this is all about sharing and educating people. And I'm like, oh, then I can do that. I'm all about education. That's my background. And that's what but I agree with you, Priscilla. When we're educating our children on eating vegetables, they're not going to eat it if they don't want to. We have to educate them on why they want to eat it. So it's educating people on why this can be really helpful for them. 100%. Whitney, was that a concern for you at all?
Absolutely, because you have to talk to people if you want to sell things. But what's really interesting is a slight parallel occurred in my job at the same time, and I got shifted into sales. And so I realized that actually I'm not bad at sales, because it wasn't ever about making a sale. It was about talking to the people about what they needed and making sure they found what they needed that fit all of the parameters that they had, right. Whatever their priorities might have been. And I realized that's true no matter what you're talking about. And it's not necessarily a matter of sales. It's a matter of talking to people and connecting right. with them. And if you've got something to offer that they don't know about, then great. If you've got something to offer that they didn't even know was an option, great. If there's not anything that you've got to offer, they may have something to offer me as far as what I learn. So the connection part has really been joyful and surprising in how important it has been, because this business has stretched me and grown me, like Lindsey said. Like that has been true on every front with this. And it's really been exciting to realize that I am capable of more than I feared I was.
Isn't that amazing? And part of it for me too was just having this supportive group. Like thinking about starting your own business is super scary. It was like, holy crap, how can I do this, and then knowing that you have this whole group of wonderful, supportive, empowering people and the tool set to help you succeed, and everybody telling you what you can do rather than what you can't do. I mean, I've loved that. It's been so amazing. Lindsey, you're brand new in. What do you think has been the best part? And I say brand new, about a month. What do you think has been the best part about Rodan+Fields for you?
I really think that the best part, has been the support, because I have a lot of questions and there's always somebody available that can answer the questions for me, because everybody's going through building their own business, and one question that's being asked has already been asked before. And so to have people ready, even if it's 9 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock in the morning, that are ready to help me get an answer to my question, whether it's navigating a website or a question that's been asked of me, has been really great. I mean, other than that, what would I do if I didn't have the support? How would I answer the questions? Like you said, I'm brand new. So that's allowing me to learn and grow in the business. And so I think that that's what's most important to me right now.
I love that. I love that. And I totally agree with you. How about you, Whitney? What's been the best thing for you?
It's really great to go to work and know that you're going to be with people that are going to lift you up. So that piece of it's great. I'm not going to lie though, the money is nice. It's nice to have some money. And from a mental health standpoint, particularly now, when there's so much that I can't control, to know that this is one of those things that literally is entirely within my control. Like what I put in is what I get out. It's really nice to feel like I've got that measure of control.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Priscilla, how about you?
I totally agree with everything that's been said. I agree with those two things. And I think in addition to that is really helping people with their skin, helping people with their finances, if that's what they're looking for. It's such a good feeling to get those texts of, wow, I love this. My skin looks great. I can't believe I was using these products before that didn't even work. It's such a good feeling to help people with their skin. So that's one of my biggest motivations.
I love that. I love that. And we have team members. I have team members who are texting me saying that now they can afford dance lessons for their kid, or they didn't have to worry about, the couple months that they were off of work because they had Rodan+Fields extra income coming in. I mean, it's huge, really, both the business and the skincare. So I know I asked you guys a few questions. Is there anything that you think that people would like to know about you that might be helpful before I let you guys go?
Yeah, I think I would I think that I would just like for people to know that me personally, I'm just a regular person. I have a family, a regular job, and there's nothing any more special about me than anyone else. And if I can take a crack at doing this, then anybody that puts forth the initiative can do it.
And that is exactly, you hit the nail on the head, Lindsey. So well said on why the doctors pulled this brand out of high-end retail and opened it up to people like us, because they said everybody deserves that chance to change their lives and help other people do the same. And we want to offer people like us who are hardworking people who want these opportunities that we wouldn't normally see. So you hit the nail on the head. That's perfect. Whitney, Priscilla?
Whitney, you want to go first?
If you are not ready to actually do the scary things, then this is the best time to jump in, because that's the only way you are going to find the faith in yourself to face all of the other things that life is going to throw at you, whether it is divorce or illness or death or all of these things that we get handed, the resiliency and the strength that you create or realize in this business are going to serve you well on every front.
And then not only are you facing all those fears and you realize you can do it and be successful, you have this huge team who's there supporting you. You're not having to do it alone. And I think that's what makes it so doable, right? Not walking that path alone. So I love that.
Huge.
I love that. Priscilla, how about you?
I just want to share that I think it's super fun. I am personally, I'm such a girly girl. Like, I'm so excited for the new product. Jennifer knows what it is, but we don't know what it is. And, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. I think it's fun. So even on the tough days, I'm like, well, at least my skin looks good, you know? So,
I know. And it's like, God, this is so much a better tough day. Like, I remember the days, I know you guys are still working other jobs, but I haven't had to work another job for 6 years now. And I remember the days when I had asked somebody if I could take a lunch break or if I could take a vacation. I don't have to ask anybody that anymore. That's pretty cool, you guys. I love that. I mean, like, I don't know, I'm just doing what I want when I want. So it's really so exciting. So for those of you who are tuning in either to the replay or watching it now on the page, just reach out to your consultant. Really, honestly, all any of us want to do are help people. So if you're at all interested or intrigued, we'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to introduce you to other team members, help you figure out if this could be a good fit for you. If the business is not of interest to you, absolutely should be using our skin and lash care, because I mean, you know, it's just beyond compare. It's amazing. And if neither of interest, or if you're making tons of money and you have the best skin and lashes in the world, we're super happy for you. And we still love referrals. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. We so appreciate all of you.